Becoming fluent in a new language is a dream many people have. The idea of speaking smoothly, understanding everything, and not struggling to find the right words is very exciting. But for most people, this dream feels far away. They face many challenges along the way. Some feel like they will never reach their goal. The journey to fluency can be long and difficult, but it's also rewarding if you stay determined. Imagine a young boy named Daniel. Daniel loved listening to songs and watching movies in a language he didn't fully understand. Every time he heard someone speak in this language, he dreamed of being able to do the same. He imagined himself traveling to other countries, making new friends, and feeling confident speaking in this new tongue. But there was a problem. Every time he tried to learn, he got stuck. Words were hard to remember, and sentences didn't make sense to him. Daniel's first lesson was filled with excitement. He picked up a few new words, and he tried to use them in conversations. But soon he realized that learning a language wasn't just about knowing a few words. It was about being able to put them together, understand others, and express yourself clearly. He felt overwhelmed. Many learners, like Daniel, feel this way when they start. The excitement quickly turns into frustration. When you start learning a new language, it's like walking into a large forest. Everything seems unfamiliar. The trees, the paths, the sounds, they all seem strange. At first, you might feel lost. You can't see the end of the journey, and it's easy to feel like you'll never get there. But with time and effort, the forest starts to make sense. You begin to see clear paths, and the sounds become more familiar. The same thing happens when learning a language. One of the most common problems people face is fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding silly. Fear of not being understood. This fear can stop you from practicing, and without practice, it's hard to improve. But here's a secret: everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. Even native speakers make mistakes in their own language. The key is not to let fear stop you. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it's a good thing because it means you're learning. Daniel had a big fear of making mistakes. Whenever he spoke, he was scared that people would laugh at him or not understand him. Because of this, he often stayed quiet, even when he wanted to speak. But one day, he met a friend who also spoke the language he was learning. This friend told him, "Don't worry about mistakes. Just speak. The more you speak, the better you'll get." This advice changed everything for Daniel. He started speaking more, even if it wasn't perfect. And guess what? People didn't laugh at him. They helped him, corrected him, and supported his efforts. Another problem many learners face is frustration with slow progress. After weeks or months of learning, it can feel like you're not getting anywhere. You still don't understand everything, and speaking feels just as hard as it did in the beginning. This is normal. Language learning takes time. It's not something you can master in a few weeks or months. It's a long process, and there will be moments when it feels like you're not improving. But the truth is, every time you practice, every time you learn something new, you're getting closer to fluency. It's important to set small, achievable goals. If your only goal is to become fluent, you might feel discouraged because fluency is a big goal that takes time. But if you set smaller goals, like learning 5 new words a day or being able to hold a basic conversation, you'll feel more motivated. Each small success will give you the energy to keep going. Daniel found that setting small goals helped him a lot. Instead of focusing on being fluent, he decided to focus on one thing at a time. One week, he focused on learning how to introduce himself. The next week, he worked on asking for directions. Each week, he added something new to his knowledge. And slowly, his confidence grew. He started having short conversations with people, and even though he still made mistakes, he was proud of how far he had come. Practice is key to language learning. You can't become fluent just by reading books or taking lessons. You need to use the language as much as possible. Speak with others, even if you feel shy. Listen to the language in songs, movies, and podcasts. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more natural it will become. One way to practice is by finding a language partner. This is someone who speaks the language you're learning and is willing to practice with you. You can help each other. Maybe they want to learn your language too, so you can take turns practicing. This way you both benefit. And because you're both learning, there's no need to feel embarrassed about making mistakes. Another great way to practice is by immersing yourself in the language. If you can, visit a country where the language is spoken. Even if it's just for a short trip, being surrounded by the language will push you to use it. You'll hear it everywhere on the streets, in shops, on the radio, and this will help your brain get used to it. If traveling isn't possible, you can still immerse yourself in the language by watching movies, listening to music, or reading in the language. Daniel found that listening to songs in the language helped him a lot. At first, he didn't understand much. The words were too fast and he couldn't keep up. But after listening to the same songs over and over again, he started picking up words and phrases. Slowly, the songs became more familiar, and he could sing along. This made him feel more connected to the language and gave him the confidence to keep learning. Another important tip is to be patient with yourself. Learning a language is not something that happens overnight. It's a journey, and like any journey, it has its ups and downs. Some days you'll feel like you're making great progress. Other days you'll feel stuck. This is normal. Don't give up on the difficult days. Keep going, and remember that every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Daniel had days when he felt like giving up. He would try to speak, but the words just wouldn't come out. He felt frustrated and wondered if he would ever become fluent. But then he remembered how far he had come. He remembered the days when he didn't know any words at all. Now, He could hold simple conversations and understand basic sentences. This gave him the motivation to keep going. One of the most powerful tools for language learning is repetition. The more you repeat something, the more it sticks in your brain. When you learn a new word, try to use it in different sentences. Write it down, say it out loud, and try to use it in a conversation. The more you use the word, the more natural it will feel. Daniel used this method to learn new words. Whenever he learned a new word, he would write it on a piece of paper and carry it with him. Throughout the day, he would look at the word and try to use it in a sentence. By the end of the day, the word didn't feel new anymore. It felt like something he had always known. Consistency is also important. It's better to practice a little bit every day than to practice for hours once a week. Even if you only have 10 minutes a day, use those 10 minutes to practice. Over time, those 10 minutes will add up, and you'll see progress. One thing that helped Daniel stay consistent was making language learning a part of his daily routine. Every morning while eating breakfast, he would listen to a short podcast in the language. Before going to bed, he would read a few pages of a book. These small habits made a big difference over time. It's also important to make learning fun. If you only focus on grammar and rules, language learning can feel like a chore. But if you find fun ways to learn, you'll enjoy the process more. Watch movies, read comic books, play games, or sing songs in the language. Find something you love and use the language to enjoy it. Daniel loved watching movies, so he started watching them in the language he was learning. At first, he used subtitles in his own language to help him understand. But as he got better, he switched to subtitles in the new language. Eventually, he could watch the movies without any subtitles at all. This made learning feel like a fun adventure instead of hard work. Surround yourself with people who support your learning. Find friends, teachers, or online communities who encourage you and celebrate your progress. It's easy to feel discouraged if you're learning on your own, but when you have others cheering you on, it becomes easier to stay motivated. Daniel joined an online language group where people from all over the world practiced together. They would have weekly video chats, where everyone could speak in the language they were learning. It was a safe space to make mistakes, learn from each other, and celebrate small victories. Being part of this group made Daniel feel less alone in his journey. As you continue learning, remember to be kind to yourself. Don't compare your progress to others. Everyone learns at their own pace, and that's okay. Some people might learn quickly, while others take more time. What's important is that you keep going, no matter how long it takes. Daniel had a friend who seemed to learn the language very quickly. This made Daniel feel like he wasn't good enough. But then he realized that everyone's journey is different. His friend had more time to practice and had grown up in a bilingual family, which gave him an advantage. Once Daniel stopped comparing himself, he felt more at peace with his own progress.